video.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah?
Yeah, I see you.
Alright.
Yeah, what's going on, Flex?
Yeah, I'm alright.
I'm coming through clear?
I'm alright, fam. What's going on?
Here, man. I'm here. I didn't want to be like, really, I was meant to be in another part of the apartment, right? But because I've got the newborn baby, my wife was going back and forth. So this is the only corner I could catch. And I was like, Felix is going to be like, this guy's doing the records in the back.
I was going to say, nah, you've got it lost, man.
It's the only corner I could catch. So I weren't trying to be that dude, but... So what Rasta?
You know what? I'm almost disappointed that's the case, because I was like, you got the proper DITC going on in there.
You already know, Showbiz is AG, and you know what? I like the reference to DITC. That's classic right there. People don't think about them enough.
You know, I've been trying to do this, man, on a little Instagram thing I'm doing, where I'm throwing up little things and saying to people, "Do you remember this?" But I know you have to get like the right people on it. But hip hop, bro, is like the things we could talk about.
Yeah.
I don't know, like hip hop was big in the 90s and 80s.
Yeah.
But I can't find no one to talk about KMD. It's like I'm talking another language.
KMD and MF Doom sprouted out of that too.
You get me? Like, you know, them things that we grew up listening to, people don't know what I'm on about. So I'm kind of doing a little thing, having a little play to see what can go on, you get me?
Yeah. It's like a good discussion to have, especially coming from someone like you that's an OG. And I call you OG hesitantly because me and you's around the same age. I'm not trying to make out like you're way older than me. But to me, you're obviously, I know that this podcast about, you know, it's about a conversation, and you may not want to talk about yourself, but
definitely not.
I'm putting that down. You're a pioneer for a lot of stuff that's going on in UK rap. But it's funny you bring up rap because I was watching The Breakfast Club yesterday, right?
See?
And they had Rakim on there.
What?
They had Rakim Allah, the God MC was on there. And it was funny because just observing Rakim is just lessons to me because he's so humble.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, he's Rakim.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Rakim, right? He was like saying it's funny. He was talking about they brought up did you have any issues with like rappers and stuff like? And he said the Kane stuff. Him and Kane had their petty shots.
See,
back and forth. But he was saying like KRS One, which I never knew. He was like he had issues that he wasn't on self-destruction.
See,
yeah, he was like, man's never called me to get on self-destruction. I felt way about it.
That's mad.
That's mad. Of course.
If you look at some of the people who's on that record.
That's what he was saying. What? That's what he was saying. You know what I like about Rakim is that he's half Buddhist monk and he's half like street dude.
Yeah.
He's super humble, but he's street. And he was like, man, I'll be seeing mans that was on that record at certain places, and I'll be giving them the screw face, bro.
Like, you took my
still upset about it to this day. He was like,
I'm not hating anybody, but you took my spot. I went there for run up on you.
Took my spot. But he's like over it now, but it's funny, just because you brought up hip hop.
Yeah, that is a madness though, when you think about it though. Like, yeah, that you know, it's really funny. You know, that reminds me of, I remember, what was it again now? Live Aid.
Live Aid, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, like, you know the ones where you're so in your bubble that you can't see the obvious. And this is what we need, like Robbie. Because when I'm in my bubble and I can't see the obvious, Robbie just gives me like, you know, the world view. So I remember Live Aid thinking like, yeah. It's all good, you're trying to do this stuff. But there were no black, you know what I mean, conscious acts on that stage. Like, what the fuck? and I was mad. Another thing, I'm not an idiot. I get it. You want the biggest pop stars available. I'm like, even like how now they have like multiple stages. I was like, so you can't just have one stage with just I'm trying dealing with. Like, you know, a couple of people who've been represented from day one, from before. I was like, that's beyond lazy. That's an insult.
Yeah.
And that's why Tracy Chapman blew up off of that, because everybody, especially like liberal white people, were all thinking, well, this is nice listening to Duran Duran. to make money for poor Africans. But why ain't no black people on the
It's
stage?
Africans with your hand out asking a white man to do something for me. It's like with the flies buzzing around. And not mocking, but come on.
So I remember that. So hearing that Rakim was invited to self-destruction, to me, that's the same kind of moment. Like, are you tripping? That's I see why he took offense to that, because Cameron is always shouting his name. Like,
and the thing is, I thought about it, and I wish there's this one of these moments where I wish I had a camera, right? When I first came to New York City, I arrived like 98, like August 98. And on Christmas Eve, Rakim was doing a concert at this spot called Tramps. It's gone now, years gone, but like a Ding Walls for New York.
Yeah.
And Rakim was doing a Christmas Eve show, and I'm standing there watching it, and KRS-One came in. Right. And I was like, oh shit, Blastmaster KRS-One. He was like, yo, London, I gave him a hug. And he was standing there, like I'm here, he's standing there, and Rakim's on stage. And I'm like, if I had a camera, nowadays everyone's got the camera.
That would have been the ultimate selfie match.
The ultimate. I was like, wow, but I never had it. But yeah, but Rakim was just saying, like, it made him realize he was genuinely hurt. To this day, he was still like, man. But he was like, it made him realize how people in the industry didn't really check for him the way he thought that they did. Now him and KRS-One are cool because it's like years have gone by, right? But at the time, it was like, wow, I'm the one that's spitting that consciousness.
That's what I'm saying.
Self-destruction.
Yeah. You know, it's really funny though, bruv, right? And I don't know if we're on topic or off topic, but that's why I love this, because this is a MANSDEM episode, so it's the MANSDEM talking.
You know, family, day one, bro.
Real brother. But you know, it's funny. I was thinking something similar just a minute ago in the kitchen. It's like I was thinking how easy it is to forget the industry when you love music. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm amazed at how stupid I am. Like how naive I am all the time. You know what I mean? I tell you what the exact example that's in my brain was things like the amount of co-producers Dre would have on an album or track that I thought Dre produced. I mean,
and the thing is, Dre doesn't even hide it. It's like featuring Mailman. And I'm like, yeah. Who's Mailman?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, and thinking that, you know what I mean, yeah, like not knowing that the DLC produced half of, like, you know what I mean, Straight Outta Compton album, and just not knowing that the industry works that way. You know what I mean? With all the amount of ghostwriters. Like, I saw something the other day, I think talked about it, where Snoop Dogg was talking about Still, and he's talking about how he wrote the lyrics, and it was like, nah, that's trash, and someone else came in, and nah, that's trash, and then Jay-Z came in and wrote the lyrics, and he came with the hook. And I'm listening to that shit thinking that's Dre and Snoop. Yeah, like how we would go, yeah, we're going in the studio.
Yeah, I guess some artists, and I'm speaking for artists that I kind of know have collaborate, like Dre, Timbaland, and those guys. Those people are almost like corporations to themselves, right?
That's what
I'm saying. The pie is such a big pie, they can share it and stuff, and whoop-de-whoop. That's why, I mean, like back on, regarding Dre's a game changer. Like before and after Dre, he's a game changer. He's reinvented himself numerous times and become what he's become, like a billionaire, like some say a billionaire, right? But in terms of producers, hip hop producers, he's in my top 5 because of influence.
Yeah, see.
Primo, RZA.
That's what I'm saying.
Pete Rock, just that's the essence to me of, you know, Dilla, you know, I mean, right. I love, there's a cult around Dilla now, that's a whole other thing, but
for real.
So I told someone the other day,
it doesn't surprise me, it just makes me laugh.
Well, I was at a record store the other day and I was speaking to this youth and I was like, Dilla's not in my top 5. Like, I love Dilla. Don't get it wrong. I get the Dilla thing. He's just not in my top 5. Our generation, from me, Dilla.
And then man that followed you home.
At first, he didn't understand. When I said he's not in my top 5, he was just looking at me.
Sorry.
He was looking at me, and then I went like,
Stop
And
it,
we
man.
just got angry. I just wanted to stop the conversation. And he said, "Who's in your top?" I said, "RZA, Pete Rock, Primo. I think I mentioned a couple others, like Just Blaze. There's a couple others from that era. I can't remember the other two."
Yeah.
He just looked away. It was like 45 degrees, like he was hurt and confused and couldn't comprehend why Dilla was not in my top 5. I said, he's in my top 10, maybe.
But you know, it's funny how people take music like so personal. Like, you know, it's really funny. I don't really think I should have been involved in music because I don't take it that personally. No, man, people take it mad personally, and I don't really get it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, you know, as you said, your top 5 is your top 5. We can debate it. We can argue about it, but I'm not going to follow you down, wait for you to lick a corner and jump and beat you because you don't like my favorite producer. But man, the man is on that. It don't make no sense.
Especially when
But you know something like J Dilla as well, because you see what happened. He passed away, rest in peace. So now he's a top producer at Amar.
Yes.
So you're speaking ill of him. So when he said there's a cult, I actually get that. Like I see that coming.
There's a Dilla code, and I get it 100%. I get the Dilla. It's like you can get something 100%, but you're not as big as a fan as some people are. But you're still a fan.
Exactly.
There's gray areas, but with music, people don't understand the gray areas, right? It's just black and white. Or you're out. It's the same. Not wanting to go off on like a tangent, but as society, it's like even with like politics, it's like you're either Democrat, either liberal, or you're Republican.
True that.
Either pro-Trump or anti-Trump. This side or that side. I'm like, there's nuances. There's shades of gray. Democrats get on my nerves, and Republicans get on my nerves.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah, but it's like, where do you stand?
And you got to think before you answer that question, like where the exits.
New York get assassinated, bro.
Where are the exits before I answer that question? No, it's funny because I've been thinking about it so much recently about how polarized things are. Do you know what I mean? I did a podcast called The Power of Babel because it's true. It's like you said, back in the day, there seemed to be so much more scope for civilized discussion and agree to disagree. And even if you thought, that man's a wanker, but you could be like, yeah, I don't agree with you, that shit, and go about your business. But even today, man, because I work from home, I had like loose women on the back of the stories in the back, right? Because the news is normally on. So this panel of women got into one Ross Clark Barney, and it was jokey because they were saying before they came on, they were arguing about Brexit because Brexit was in the topic, and then they had said, bear in mind they had this argument, and they all admitted they had a big Ross argument before they came on stage, had to all apologize and hug it out. Then on the stage, when they said what they had to say, which should have been organized already because they'd done their argument, it kicked off again. And I'm just like, people are so polarized. They just
about Brexit. They were arguing about Brexit.
Yeah. Just arguing about different views of Brexit. The way I could see it, it was like two of them was pro, two of them was Remain, two of them was pro Brexit. So everyone's standing their corner. So the two pro were going, rah, 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 Boris Johnson's got it right, shut down Parliament, you blood clot, because we asked for this thing 3 years ago and you're trying to stop us. And then the Remainers are kind of going, yeah, we know you won, but you still have to be the president, prime minister. And this kicked off for the thing. And this is what reason I knew it made me laugh, because the woman that the head said, okay, everything's been said now. And one of them said, no. You always have the last word. Can I have the last word? Because, and you could just see that was off reservation. So then she goes, okay, say your thing. Then she said her thing. Then the other two kicked in, nah, you can't say that. Kicked off. I was like, that's the world we live in. People can't have civilized debate and agree to disagree and bounce anymore. Yeah. Especially over the dinner, apparently. Or Eminem. That's the other one.
It's like a regression of sorts, right? Because we're basically animals, we're mammals, and like, to me, sometimes it rises to the surface. Because the way I see human beings, and I was having this conversation the other day with somebody, I was like, we haven't been around for that long, right? In terms of the length of the planet Earth, right? And we're this species that has like this huge. We're like a genius child. We're like a child that has this huge brain and has so much capabilities, but we're still young.
Yeah,
so we just do dumb shit like, man, we're gonna the ozone. Put plastic in the water. Fuck it. Yo, we're gonna go to war and just kill each other. Because we're just kids. This dumb shit. But we're highly evolved in our own way. Right? We got a farm. We learn how to use fire and create the wheel and the internet and do all these amazing things. But we also do dumb shit. And when it comes to stuff like like politics and J Dilla, it just no. What? We regress into the animalistic aspect of us. Huh? You J Dilla, not top 5? Are you Republican or Democrat? Are you pro-Brexit or not? There's nuances, bro.
It's true.
The Brexit thing, I can't even. It's complicated, bro. But I feel like Homegirl got thrown under the bus. What was the Prime Minister's name?
Oh, May, Theresa May. Yeah.
She got handed a hot turd. Didn't know what to really do with it.
Yeah. But you know what it is though, fam? I tell you the truth, right? I'm very it's like serious, loud Brexit, but with Theresa May, I have a very particular opinion. And Boris Johnson as well. And it's cool, I want to be king. So you have these people, and I get it, it's your whole career, your whole life's ambition to get that position.
Yeah.
So you take it at any cost. You can't tell me you're intelligent enough to have been in the fucking Conservative Party as a minister for so many years to not know you were being given a hot. So it's a mixture of arrogance, just like the thing that caused Brexit. It was Cameron's arrogance that he thought, oh, you know, I can put this vote out there because I'm gonna win it. Because I'm Cameron and I'm fucking I don't need the Lib Dems anymore to run the country. I've got a full majority. I'm going to win this as well. And then I'm going to be the one who put this question to bed of the Conservative Party. And I go down in history. Right? And your arrogance come back and begin. And now you're fucking crying and fucking interviews with Christian and Guru Murphy. Now is the other one.
Crying for real.
Yeah. Bitching about, now you realise your arrogance. And Theresa May rolled in the back of it like, yeah, I get to be Prime Minister. All I've got to do is sort this shit out.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have taken that fucking job if you. Ever. And then Boris Johnson took an even worse version of the same job.
Right.
Because he had to guarantee to do it by end of October for his own fucking hardliners, knowing that Parliament was guaranteed to block him at every fucking turn. Because they already did it with Theresa May and told him, you're not doing no hard Brexit and we're Parliament, we're going to stop you. And he still took the job. So there's no crying over here, fam. It shows that shit. You can fucking live with it.
And English politics is such a snake pit. Like when Theresa May couldn't get the vote through on Brexit, you just knew that behind the scenes, her own party, not the opposition party, her own party were just about to get real carnivorous. They were scheming. She's not going to push this through. Listen, once she fails, why don't you become the Prime Minister? I'll be your deputy. We just got to make sure that we stay unified because she's going to take the brunt and then we're going to push our agenda through. I was telling somebody here, I was saying English politics, American politics is nothing on English politics. You'd be scheming behind doors, trying to get their foot in. I felt I had a bit of sympathy for Theresa May. But when the first vote couldn't go through, I realized it's not the opposition party, it's her own party.
For real.
It's her own party. It's almost like you kind of see a deer and it gets injured, hobbling, and you just see the vultures circling and the lions, the leopards, and she's like, that's what was going on.
And the number one was just Jacob Rees-Mogg, followed by Boris, followed by Gove. Yeah, they were just there. They were just like, yeah, man, when you're dead, I'm having your spot. And the 1922 committee is like, yeah, we're having our hard Brexit because we ain't paying them fucking taxes, man. They caught us on the Panama Panama papers. We want to fuck Europe. We're done with that, man. We want to be able to fucking treat people like proletariats and make big money and do what the fuck we want. And that, so all of that's going on, and she took the job. I said this is my answer to so many of these questions, like even the pro Brexit people, which I don't want to get too deep into. Do you know what I mean? When they're kind of saying to me, oh, yeah, because immigrants are coming in, taking our jobs out. My answer is always this. The guy who gave the immigrant your job, who put a gun to his head and said you have to employ these migrants? Who said you have to employ these economic migrants and pay them less than your fellow countrymen that you swear you're here? Because you know he voted Brexit. so you marry that shit up. Because no one made him do that. You know what I mean? So and no one made her take that job either. So I feel I'm just like I'm not in it, mate.
It's our arrogance. And yeah. So do you think they're gonna push this? Because he's trying to push this thing through by October the 31st, right, boys?
Yeah, bro. It's a madness. You know what? Most things in life I've been willing to hazard a guess. This is one of the few things that's happened in my lifetime that I'm not even. The things that are happening today. Like you couldn't fucking make this shit up.
No,
you couldn't make up with the new prime minister losing all the first votes, and then the courts, which always try and stay out of politics, saying that his decision was unlawful, and he misadvised the Queen, which 400 or 500 years ago he'd been the fucking tower.
They be having swinging as an example. A man would be looking up, be like, oh.
Like you lied to the Queen.
How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, but I can't even. I'm not even hazarding a guess. You know what I mean? I can't hazard a guess. I just think no matter what happens, it's going to end in tears because of what you said before. Because the polarization and I've got this real thing at the moment. I don't know if I'm using the right terminology about identity politics.
Yeah.
And I think we're living in an age of like identity politics on steroids. Now, a lot of what I believe makes me laugh because me being me, my background means that I'm a super fucking hypocrite. Mr. Identity Politics. But it makes me laugh, you know what I mean? Because now it seems like everybody identifies with what they identify with. They don't hear nothing from nobody else. And aside from that, like I said, it's just la 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 if you don't agree with them. And then on top of that, you have to agree with and respect, and even worse, we won't piss me off, know everything about the politics they identify with. So it's kind of like the Dilla thing. If someone said like, top snare drums from producers, the Dilla guy, that's a conversation that will happen. It's the 808 with the 65% flange tweak.
Flanger with delay.
You watch that will happen, man. But the guy would expect you to know that. He'd expect you to know that Dilla took an 808, put it through a compressor, put a 65% flange tweak on it, and that's why it gave that sound. And since you don't know that, it's your fault. You're a fucking criminal for not knowing that.
Yeah. Everyone's an expert.
For real. And they expect you to be an expert on their shit. Yeah. Or you're a really fucking bad person. And that's what fucks me off. Like, I think I shouldn't. No, I think I should be allowed not to know some shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Especially when it comes to music, just feel it. It's an emotion. It's a muse. But I said with the internet, the great equalizer. And once again, and I feel like I don't want to be picking on Dilla because I love Dilla. I don't want people to come out and want to assassinate.
You just remembered using a podcast, didn't you?
But because it's a subject matter, I'm fascinated by music and conversations around it. And Dilla's interesting because Dilla died. And once Dilla died, there was a conversation around him about how he never reinvented the role of a producer, but he brought his own sound with the loose drums and the sub bass, and he was just like this genius that could just program beats live and all of that. Yeah. And when he died, people tapped into Dilla's story and it became like a cult. And then it was the perfect storm. Like the internet began to rise. So you got the white kids, the hipster kids, the black kids, kids who aren't really into rap, skateboard, whatever. They just tuned into this guy called Dilla because the myth became bigger than the person. I understand that. That's what happens. Now, my thing is, it's great walking around this. Like Primo is walking around and living.
Always the way, isn't it? Always the way.
Yeah, it's always the way, and I get it.
I feel you on that.
You know, the RZA is around.
Right.
He's here. Dre, we mentioned Dre. These great artists are still around, and it kind of taps into the I don't know what the word is. The almost like the fetishism of black culture, black artistry, where the movers and shakers. There's a phrase there that we are culture that's banded around, and I do like the phrase. We are cultures. We are the people look to us to bring culture, and then it gets monetized, right?
True.
And I feel like with me, I just play devil's advocate. I love Dilla, but I might say to someone, I'm not a big fan of Dilla just for the conversation.
Yeah.
And it's on us as black people. Let's celebrate the artists we have now. Let's celebrate them. These people are amazing artists, but I think we're so creative, and we put out and we give so much, we just take it for granted. It's almost like a money machine. You can print money and you just give it away, and everyone takes and runs it. You're like, yeah, we'll just print some more money. So I'm like, as I said, RZA, Primo, Pete Rock, Dre, Quincy Jones.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, like,
come on, man.
And I'm not saying they don't get celebrated, but it's with the. I get the Dilla, and that's just the way it's supposed to be. He died, he passed away, and let's celebrate. Let's not him, but let's celebrate these artists who are around while they're actually living.
I feel you, brother. You know, this is such an interesting thing because I've got a kind of version of that. I really do. Excuse me. Apart from agreeing with it, because believe it or not, one of my favorite digital underground songs is a song called Heartbeat Props. And they just did that. They were just going through all the men who were still alive, literally exactly what you're saying, and going, big up this man, big up Farrakhan, big up this artist, big up this artist. Why do we only fucking realize the importance of people like Nipsey when they die? How many of the Nipsey Hussle people who are posting Nipsey quotes every day were really following Nipsey when he was, because I'm not posting quotes because I was really following him.
I was messing with Nipsey.
I knew of. Yeah, no, but I'm kind of slack on them things, but I know that there's so many people like they was on, you know what I mean? They was 100% dedicated. But I'm like, nah, it's just fashionable now.
Yeah.
I think, but going into what you said before, definitely, I think because we are the creators of culture, I find we do one thing which is very sad. We create culture and we move on.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And I think it's maybe it has to be that way because we create the culture that the energy, the forward drive and motion that makes us create the next culture means that we move on. But I tell you one thing, because I love the way my brain works. I think it was Crooklyn. Sure, it was Crooklyn. And there's a scene where the dad has a jazz concert. Has an event because he's a pianist and he's playing proper music, and nobody fucking comes. They're going to listen to bebop.
Yeah.
It's like a little scene out of Crooklyn, which kind of just shows the family that the dad was a jazz musician, and he's like, "No, I make real music, and I listen to this dumb bebop shit." And that's us. Like he probably would be a great from his era, but we don't give a fuck. We've moved on. We're on mum's rap.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm doing that to them. People kind of like, yo, I had someone say to me that, that like, it kind of said, I love, I kind of how I phrased it. It's along the lines of, it's great to see someone still representing 90s golden era hip hop. Yeah. Because what he was really saying is, that's over and we've moved on.
You know what? Somebody quoted this, right? Somebody said this in an interview and it stuck in my head. And I wouldn't say it made me have an appreciation for quote unquote mumble rap, but it made me feel like I kind of understood it. Somebody said he said, the thing about the youth Like the 80s and 90s was such a golden era. Like, how can you top Illmatic, right? And I was saying this to somebody the other day, and they got really mad. They were like, "But it's regression." I was like, "Yeah, but they regressed. It's just you go from Illmatic to how can we top that? Rather than make it lyrical, the youth made it about a feeling."
Yes, right. 100%, bro.
100%.
Because
Because you're kind of rebelling. It's almost like punk rock in a way. You're rebelling against the music that your parents listen to.
right.
And also, it's hard to do better. Like, your parents keep playing Illmatic and you want to do rap.
Yes.
Your father's like, yo, this is the benchmark. At some point, I could relate it to probably the punk rock kids when they listen to these classic rock guys.
Right.
Clapton.
That solo. I'm learning 4 chords.
Yeah. and I hate to mention a bunch of white dudes that ripped off black music, but just for the sake of story, like Clapton, the Stones, the Yardbirds, a bit like,
For real.
I am an anarchist. It's just rebelling against. People like, I understand what the youth them is doing. It's just not for me.
For real. And I gotta be honest with you, bro. Seriously, because I love music, I've kind of quite got an eclectic musical taste. I don't. I talk about it as I reference mumble rap as an era. It doesn't bother me. And people be talking some stuff, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like, did you not listen to no? What I'm trying to say, I'm not going to call their names. I'll get that wrong. There was a lot of shit artists in the 90s, and we love to forget them. We go like everyone was Rakim, Nas, KRS One, and fucking Big L. That isn't the truth. There was a lot of shit in the 90s, and some mumble rap's fucking amazing. Some of these guys are making, and I agree with you, maybe not lyrically blowing my mind, but there's different elements to a tune. Some tunes are like, that's my jam. I put that tune on and I want to fucking rave. And some of them mumble raps are amazing for that.
It's a feeling.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't hate mumble rap at all. People always expect you to. I'm like, no, I didn't hate. Okay, I'm older now, so at this age, I don't hate 2 Live Crew either. I think Common said it best. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
I'm buying 2 Live Crew records.
Yeah. It's not your thing. It's like history repeats itself, and I'm making an assumption. It may not be the case, but I can imagine when in the 70s when you had R&B music, and then disco came out, or even leading, and then later on house music. The old heads, not really the old heads, but the heads of that time were probably like, it was like the mumble rap of that era.
Exactly.
What are they singing about? Dance. And when it comes to house or some disco, there's just no lyrics. It's just the music. It's just instrumental, synthesized on this synthesized machine. That's not a real keyboard.
No real artistry. No, not talking about poverty and what's going on in the ghetto. This ain't no Marvin Gaye.
Michael.
So I'm with you 100, man. It's just funny because now Rogers again was on the daytime TV thing. I watched this on the background. Yeah, you done know. And he said to them, because you forget these little things. I love to catch these things. He said, what everyone forgets, everyone talks about Chic and what I did and all. He goes, but you forget that disco was a very short period of time before it was disco sucks. And he goes, there were disco sucks banners everywhere. Because I just got into making music and just started making a name for myself. And all of a sudden, disco was over, and I was a fucking pariah. So it's easy for him to go, yeah, legend. He goes, it wasn't like that. At the start of the 80s, we were pariahs. No one would touch us. Yeah. We were shit. We were talentless. Now, 2-3 decades later, everyone's giving me accolades. Right. So that's what keeps him kind of, because he's always just been on a level. Like, I'm just grateful to be here.
Keeps him level-headed. It comes around.
Yeah, that's what that. And I'm a big believer in it. Listen, you know what? I don't want to get off topic. I need to get on topic. So I know it's a MANSDEM episode, but I wanted to talk to you about the project, man.
Yeah.
But before, because obviously I actually almost tried to make notes about this. Because obviously we've known each other 2 lifetimes, but if you're going to describe yourself, man, for people who don't know you and your background, just do that. And I'll tell you why I want to do that, because I was thinking about this. One of the reasons I want to do this is because I'm sure that we're gonna learn more about each other just by doing this.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I'm just like, it's hard to describe yourself because it's you, right? But I'm a youth from Tottenham.
Mm.
You know what I mean? From the ends, and always been into music and film
See.
without even knowing it at the time. I remember when I was around 16, 17, my friend came by the crib, Nigel Wright. Nigel came by the crib and he was like, see, he goes, what? He goes, because I was playing him some music and I had these ideas about making a movie, writing a script, never knew how. And he was like, man, you should. And Nigel's one of those guys who always had these ideas. He was like, man, you've always been that guy that's into music and film. You should do something with it.
See.
Right? This is Tottenham '85. Yeah, but it just stuck in my head. Like, see, you don't think you can do this kind of stuff. It just stuck in my head. Again, that's something I've always been deeply into music, collected records from a young age, and loved film. Like, film was one of those things that my mom would put me in front of a television to just basically shut me up with love. And I'm kind of giving a story, and now I get to the part where I'm giving the background of how I end up here. So fast forward a couple of years after that Nigel quote planted the seeds in my head.
See.
Basing, you guys. Via Scotty, I get involved with you guys and become friends with you guys. And you guys are putting out music independently. I've got no concept. These guys from my hood are putting music out on their own. I don't even know how the music industry even works. It's just, to me, it's just somewhere you go, you just buy records, it's a music business.
I just neither did we. As you discovered.
So these things, and we can get into that, but I don't want to stray too much on the topic because we're just going to talk about. But huge influence. I'm saying Tottenham planted the seeds. Through a number of circumstances, I ended up in New York City. Came here to visit, ended up staying. Had to survive and pay rent. And once again, I ran into this guy from London, James, and he was a doorman at a club, and we got talking about music, and he was like, "Yo, why don't you get?" Because it was the CD era. Was get a couple of CD turntables.
See.
And you can start getting DJ gigs. I was like, really? And this is the early aughts when there's money around. This is I wasn't a fan of George Bush, but I made money when George Bush was the president.
Yeah, I feel you. Where you gotta take the opportunities if they're there, man. You can't say I ain't touching that money, man. That's Bush
money around early aughts. So I bought the turntables and I started getting gigs in New York. You got like Midtown, which is like almost like the corporate center of New York City, like in a way, right? And gigs for these like bars, it's kind of cheesy bars, but I'd be getting gigs. And what happened was that because I was doing these DJ sets around these corporate people, I started getting corporate gigs, and then I finessed the way that I could curate music for brands, like fashion brands and stuff. So that got me into the music side of things, but I always wanted to make film. And I raised some money. I made an independent film called Mr. Obscure.
Awesome.
I made it for 30 Foul and released it independently. And yeah, because once again, it's like the record business. I mean, now I couldn't really get a distribution deal, so I put it out on my own and just released it via social media, and it did reasonably well.
To this day, I can't believe you did that movie on that budget with them resources.
Yeah. I eventually got 30.
Like Rodriguez guy to me, like my Rodriguez man. I'm like, nah, get the fuck out.
You know what the thing about making that movie? You know what the thing about making that movie was? Now, when I made the movie, I remember I had a script. How I got to make, because I'm always, is for me in my life, it's little conversations, the little things that people said that have influenced me. It's not broad topics, little things. what happened is that I'd written a script about some gangster in the UK, and he got into fashion. He was half in the fashion world, a half in the UK gangster world, one of those kind of scripts, and it got a bit of interest, and I went Cannes. And me and this guy that was managing me at the time, we went Cannes, trying to shop this script around. I was trying to shop it around, and we were at this restaurant/bar one night, and we got talking to this guy he produced movies, and I was pitching him for that script, and the guy said, I wish I could remember the guy's name, because he's kind of a well-known guy now, but I just can't remember the guy's name now. And he was like, look, bro, he kept it real. He said, look, bro, ain't nobody buying. Really, it's going to be hard for you to sell this script because you haven't really got a track record. What you should think about is just making a small independent movie. That's something that I'd be interested in, the finished product. So then I went away and just thought, how can I write a script that I can make for 25 hours? And I wrote a script and I made it for 25 hours, right? Wow. But I'd never been in a film set or anything. And this is the point I'm making.
Don't you? You're my Rodriguez.
I'd never been on a film set. None of that shit.
That's what I remember. That's legendary, man. So I have to stop you. Just think about that for a minute. Okay.
I'd never been on a film set or anything like that. Anything of that. But I raised the funding, right? I raised eventually 30,000. I originally had 25,000. Been halfway through about just before I was going to shoot the film, we realized we couldn't make it for 25,000. We need another 5,000. So eventually I made it for 30,000. But my original script was, we're going to make this film for 25,000, right? And I remember I hired the crew and I had a producer. And she was like, this is how green I was. She said, you need to rehearse. But I was so nervous and I felt like such a charlatan. I was intimidated by the actors. I said, no, we just show up on the set and just wing it. Like Jean-Luc Godard, Francois. No, this is new. This is revolutionary. She said, and I'd already paid her half the money. She said, I'll give you the money back. If you don't rehearse, I'm not going to do it. Because the budget's so small, we only had 12 days to shoot it. You need to get these actors. So intimidated. Started to rehearse with them. It became the greatest thing ever. Because what happened was that I realized when I was gearing up to make a movie, my mindset was I wasn't intimidated by raising funds or the business of it or getting a crew. I was intimidated by being on a film set and being around actors. I thought I'd shown up like dilettante, like these people do this. I don't do this shit.
It's imposter syndrome, isn't it? Yeah.
It was the other way around. Trying to get into festivals, raising the funding, trying to get a crew together, all that stuff was the messed up bit. When I was on the film set, it was like being in my bedroom. It was like a piece. I wouldn't say it was a piece of cake, but it was so natural. Yeah. Partly because I'd rehearsed, but partly because it was a calling. It was something I'd always wanted to do.
It's been in you. That's what you said. You've always been that guy. That's in you.
Yeah, exactly. It was natural, but I was intimidated because I felt like other people could do it, but I couldn't. I'd set the wheels in motion, and it's something I'm sure that you can relate to because you did mega things when you were pretty much still borderline a child, right? Basically, you were young, teens. I was a grown man at this point, so salute to you for that. But this is something I've always. It's like getting out of your comfort zone, right? You set the wheels in motion, and then you're like, it's almost like now I really have to do this because I set the wheels in motion. And that's what happened. But when I ended up doing it, it was like everything else outside of making a movie was a pain in the ass in a way. But making a movie, I loved it. So I made the movie, but at the same time, I was still like spinning and DJing and stuff. And curating music for brands like fashion brands like Paul Smith and Oscar de la Renta and Gilded Age, and still doing corporate events. And I started DJing for record labels like showcases and shit.
Okay.
So what happened was that because I collect records, I buy music. I bought this African record, this rare African record by this group called Super Wings. It was an obscure record. I played the record. I liked it and I put it away. I've got a lot of records, put it away. A couple months later, I grabbed it again and played it. And I just got really into this record, right?
See.
So I was at home bored and I said, let me get on Facebook. And I looked up the guy who seemed to be the head of this band.
Yeah. I know that feeling.
Boom, boom, put him in. He came up. So I sent him a message. And this is what we call Joe Works, right? Check this out, Flex. I sent him a message. I was like, boom. I've got this record of yours from 1974. I love the record. I may know some people who may want to reissue it and put this record out.
See.
Because African records, like reissuing music, it's like a marketplace. There's certain genres and time periods and artists that are hot. And music at the time was hot, especially 70s African music, very hot. People would want to reissue it and put it out because there's a market for it. It's like Turkish psychedelia is nothing that's really hot. Like Japanese
really?
record label.
That guy, because you would know that.
I'm just super nerd about this shit. So I hit him up and he never got back to me. I hit him up the second time, he never got back to me. 2 weeks later, I hit him up the third time and he got back to me. Ding! He goes, I don't understand what you're saying. I said, I know somebody who, I know people in the music business who may be interested in pulling this record out. So I could maybe be a conduit and arrange something for you to put his music out because I think it needs to be shared. It's a major record. He goes, I love it. He said to me, I don't understand how you're reaching out to me saying you love my music and you're in the music business, but you want to give it to somebody else to put out. If you want to put the record out, me and you figure it out and you put it out. And I was like, yeah, but I don't have a record label. I don't put music out. Then he goes, I guess it's not going to be put out, but I'm dealing with you and that's it. I don't want to deal with nobody. I said, Clark. Because these guys are in their 70s now. He's very black and white. He lives on a farm. I think he's a preacher. He's got that probably like 20 kids. It's like, he got time for this. He probably checked out the profile. Said, oh, black man. And he passed me on to somebody else. So I said, boom. So that's how the reissue label started. He put me in a position, and it's something it's the same as film. It was in the back of my head.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can't do it. You need so much funding to do this stuff. And I was just talking myself out of it. Like other people do it, but I couldn't do it. But what happened? Back to Obscure. Through Obscure, because I had to have a soundtrack and a score, I had an entertainment lawyer, and through my wife being a musician too, she had like a publishing deal, and I was kind of borderline managing her, kind of. I understood the business of music, the fundamentals of it. Publishing, masters, mechanicals. I knew all that. And once I started the label, I kind of realized I knew more about the music industry than some of the people I was dealing with.
For real. 100.
Dealing with. And when I was trying to get a distribution deal, the numbers didn't add up. I remember talking to this guy who wanted to distribute my first record. He owned a record store, and he's a good dude too, but I was like, so how does it work? How do I make my money back? And he literally said to me, don't worry about that. For the love.
1960s Cadillac records.
I said, you know what?
Dream Girls 101. Just come in and sing.
New York is record store capital. Brooklyn is the mini capital of the record store capital, and Bushwick has more record stores per square foot than anywhere like in the world. And I live in Bushwick, so I just went store to store handing out my records, and I turned a profit because I was doing it on my own. And
old school though, with a K.
to store.
Now you know I remember that.
Right?
In your rucksack.
That's about with the bag, with the backpack showing up, introducing yourself. And they were like, you don't have a distribution deal? I was like, no, I'm just doing it on my own. I can get a distribution deal. It don't make sense. But because I never had a distribution deal, I could figure it out with the store direct and give them a deal that makes sense for like both of us.
See.
You take 2, you take 5, give me this. They'd be like, yeah, cool. I pretty much sold out. I mean, I moved on to the next record, which is we just put this, a few months ago, we put out this 1990s Japanese hip hop record by this artist called Hoodoo Fushimi, which is like, it's just a really odd record, but it's really great. It's like synthesized rap, bit of jazz, some breaks and samples in there, and it's all in Japanese. It's crazy. We put that out, and we've got a bunch of records that we're putting out soon. We've got a spiritual jazz record by Jamil Moondog that we're going to be putting out. Hopefully, I say like it's not really free. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about that, but yeah, hopefully. And we've got a jazz techno record. Not techno, kind of another weird record. A lot of records I put out, they're hard to describe because I'm drawn to records that are kind of genreless.
Yeah. I call myself eclectic, and I don't know. I don't think there is a word for you because I'm eclectic. Like I like heavy rock and I like hip hop and I like gory and chant music. Whereas you want that shit in one record. That's where we differ.
That's what I'm attracted to. I mean, music is like a woman, right? There's a certain type of woman that you're attracted to, and because you can't really describe what the full. There's something about her.
See.
Music's like that. Like I listen to something and be like, I don't know. There's an intangible thing, and that's what it is. So yeah. So in a nutshell, what I am like, I'm a filmmaker. I'm a music curator. I'm a DJ. I'm a father. I just recently had a child. And
wait, bro. Let me see your eyes.
Bro, I was up at 7:30 this morning, bro. I was up and I was out last.
But you know, I got the t-shirt, man.
Because that's politics. We're gonna start. Me and the wife gonna start doing this private party type of thing on like a Saturday night. So I was out talking to the guy that owns the venue and stuff. Came in pretty late, and she just got me up at 7:30, man. Just like slapping my face and saying feed me, but not feeding him.
It's the baby clock, man. It's this is what it's so interesting the world we live in, because we live in this world where we set parameters for time and then times to do shit, and then we have children and children reconnect us to Mother Nature. Your child doesn't care what your Gucci watches say. And it's a very humbling experience, and there's something great in there that I think we miss, because we're gonna get to work on time, we're gonna get the bus goes this time. You know what I mean? But they are the closest. It's about humans. Now we're kind of messed up, and it's true. Children always are the closest version of the best version of us. They live on universal time. They don't know nothing about racism, sexism, hate. Do you know what I mean? And it's funny that, like you said, we've got this genius personality. They still got fight or flight brains, but it hasn't been molded into the fucking shit we have. Where you see a guy with a hat, it makes you paranoid. Where you see a blonde woman and you think that she's going to be snobby and a bitch because you've been social. They don't have that. They just take it for what it is, man. So always think we can learn so much from them, man, while they're slapping you in the face at 6 a.m.
You learn so much from. I say that to people. And people think it's something cute to kind of say, right? Because I learned so much from my children. But I do. Like my daughter at about 4 months old, she just they call it the tummy time. And she'd just be doing this on her stomach until it hurt. Like she'd be like, and then I pick her up.
Wow.
And then I put her down again, and she's tired, but instinctively, I have to get better. I have to work on my core. And sometimes I'd be like, just stop doing that. Like, you don't have to do it. But it's almost like she's saying, yo, I'm a workaholic. You don't have to do it. So whatever you're doing, I need to survive in this world. She just wouldn't stop doing it. It's just freaking me out.
Wow.
And she'd try and stop. They'd be like, I'd be like, shit. You have to keep pushing. There's a bigger picture. Observing children, you just learn a lot.
Yeah.
You learn a lot. Because you said they have no prejudice, they don't judge, and she can't speak, but she learned to communicate.
Yes.
What she wants without being able to vocalize it. Yeah, there's a lot of you've got what, two? You've got two, right?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
It's as I said, it's a beautiful thing. But it was interesting that the big one just left the family home like a week ago after university.
Wow, give thanks to the Most High.
Give thanks for real, man. So yeah, it's a funny thing, man, because on the real, I remember this child being born. And I had two, I mean, you know me, so I could just be honest. Because sometimes you can't tell people stuff because they just think you're making it shit up. I had two thoughts. The first one I knew was that this child was in my possession. I was given something valuable to be the guardian of. And I told myself that right from the outset. Do you know what I mean? That you might do everything I want, but I'm not here to control you and make you do anything. I've been given this privilege of being your guide and your protector. That was number one. Number two was, I don't know where this came from. Like, right, you are completely helpless. So for the next 5 to 7 years, I have to keep you alive. And that's all I was on.
And you have to stay alive.
That was all I had in my brain. That I said, for the first 7 years, my focus with you is keep you alive. Then I move into stage 2, whatever that is. And then obviously stage 2 becomes like, socialization and, learning, And then you get to another age where you hit teenage, you're going to start letting go because, that 7 to, let's say, 13, 14 is you have a lot of control. And you can say, don't do that, you ain't doing that, you're not having that, you're not doing that. Then you have to get to the point where now you have to start learning for yourself and I have to start giving you a different kind of respect. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it was just in phases, man. So it's an interesting phase for me because I know that I did see in phases that the phase that boom, like, wow, he's left home. Like Cosby shit, he'll be back. But at least with 4 next years, it's going to be his primary residence. And I was really pleased. Do you know what I mean? I was pleased because I remember to this day, my only objective on a day-to-day basis was keeping him alive. It was from that to now you're out the door on your own, making your own decisions.
That's emotional. Another thing about having a child, I just get emotional, man. So I just get emotional and a lot. I mean, I've always been an emotional dude, but that's beautiful, man. Because what it is that from once again, like once a man, twice a child. There's so many levels to that saying. And me having a newborn child, like before I have a child, you having that conversation to me, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's like conversational. You're like an OG. I see you as like an OG to me. But even in that sense, like you've got to that point. Because I'm at the starting line.
Well, I'm still surprised, that you can see on my face.
Starting line. So you've been through as I said, the 7 years, after the teenage whole era, and now you just left home. So that's just like an accomplishment. For me, that's so far away. And I know that people would say it goes by quick, right? But it's so far away. It's almost like I can't even comprehend it. I'm just going day by day, keeping my daughter alive.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, because I mentioned that for that reason, because it is, and you're right to be emotional. It's the most beautiful thing, man. Jimmy, I listen, man. There are things in life that could have gone differently, but my decision was always, like I said, that first day was, you never asked to be here. I asked for you to be here, so you're my number one responsibility for the next 20 years. And that was the first thoughts I was having. So I was like, whatever come what may, you're the priority now. Do you know what I mean? And for real, so I'm only saying this because starting that journey, the things you're talking, I still get emotional because I'm still in that place, like I'm like a deer in the headlights, like I can't believe I made it this far, like that fucking record. You know what I mean? Like fucking Juicy, like who would have thought hip hop would have made it this far, man? Like wow.
And where's he going for to study? Where's he studying?
So he's doing Malaga.
Oh, nice.
So it's all good. He reminds me of me, right? Because I went to Brunel. So London to Brunel, for me, it's yeah, far enough so I don't have to live at home. I get my freedom, but close enough so I can bounce back on my dirty washing.
Wow.
So it's not like he went like Barcelona, like 11 hours away.
Right.
So, but you know, I mean, it's, all them ones there again, because I had my opinions, but these were all his choices, and that's the letting go. And it's so funny because you know, I think our parents' generation was very bad at that stage. I know for sure, I can't speak for everybody, but my parents would be telling you what to do at 25 and 30 if you let them.
How? They still be telling
They're
you.
not advising you, you understand? Telling you what to do. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I had my own opinions on some of that stuff, but I was like, yo, here's my opinion. This is why I think that. And that's it. After that, you know, I know that I can't be behind you all day long making decisions for you. So for me, the letting go, I would say the letting go stage was hard, but it wasn't, because I'm not gonna lie, I made that decision the day he was born. That's why my first thought was, I'm your guardian, not you're not my possession. Because if you're my possession, then I'm gonna tell you what the fuck to do. Because you're mine. Like,
Yeah.
men do that, or men do that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I said, no, I'm just your guardian. So that I can't do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyway.
It's interesting in the sense that we're both descendants of immigrants, right?
Real.
And our children, well, I'm in America and you're in Spain. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, it's like, is it the fact because our parents, especially Caribbean parents, they have a certain type of mindset.
See.
And I don't know, I've been thinking about it a lot, like the journey that our parents had to go to this foreign land,
Real.
to create a better life and raise a family, right? It's epic, bruv. You don't think about it, but it's epic.
I don't think people, I always think people don't think about that shit. I had this conversation weeks ago, bro, and it's the same thing. We underestimated it. We didn't really understand it. We didn't appreciate it. We really did.
We didn't appreciate growing up in a Caribbean/Black community, which will never happen again.
Well, for real.
Just took it for granted. And I know with my parents, let's say my parents, my mom, I never know. I don't know if your mom parents same way, but my mom, when I want to speak to her about what it was like coming over, but one night I went to London to visit, and it was me and my wife, and we went out. I think we went like the jazz cafe or something. We went out, came back around 12 o'clock, and my mom's old, so she's up. When you're old, you stay up too late and get up early. I don't know what that's about. You stay up to 1 in the morning and get up at 5 in the morning. It's like a weird thing because you're old and shit. So I'm like, so I go home. All right. So I said, so what's up, Mom? And I've been drinking a little bit, so I was a little bit tipsy, whatever. So I'm in my mom's room. And for some reason this night, she wanted to tell me her whole story. From arriving in London.
Wow.
And it was a long, epic story. But I remember this part was the part that stuck with me. She said, when they got off the ship, whatever, right? And we're trying to find accommodation in this grey, cold land, right?
Mm-hmm.
Women, they were trying to find accommodation, and the sign said, no blacks, no dogs, and no Irish.
Mm.
No blacks, no dogs, and no Irish. And they were the suitcases. And they were like, the mindset, they were like, where do the Irish people live?
Wow.
Pull up on one man and said, where the Irish people them live?
Wow.
And he said, Park. And they walked from wherever they were walking from. I don't know how far it was. They went into that. They walked to Finsbury Park and knock on the doors. And the Irish man opened the door and they said, yo, we just come from side. They wouldn't want to. They said, the Irish man said, look, you can stay here. I don't deal with this English. The English, you just don't bring out the English people. Stay here. And they found a place to crash for like a few days, and then they figured it out. They started renting accommodation at first, but it was the Irish were the only people that would give them accommodation. But I said, you got off the ship, you were in London and never had anywhere to like stay. They're like, no, we just said what? They just drop us off somewhere, like drop us off. Like some of them got dropped off in Brixton, some of them got dropped off in it. They were just dropped off at a certain place. They were just walking around trying to figure it out. I was like, blood. She said, how to find out where the Irish them live. Crazy. But that's just one of the stories. But I'm saying, but the point is, now you're an immigrant in Spain and you've got a child, and you know, you probably handle things a little bit differently based on your upbringing. But I mean, there's you take the best of your upbringing, but you tweak it for how you want to go about things. True. And you know, and that's probably the way that I'd go about things too with regarding to my daughter, you know. But yeah, but as I said, yeah, like stuff I took for, I look back on my youth and my childhood. Obviously you do that at like a certain age, but I think 2020 vision, but it's like, what an interesting, I would say great time to grow up, because it was great in a sense, you know, we like had our challenges, because, you know, English society was, people complain about racism now in England, but you would know. Hoxton may be cool and hip, but as a black man, you already know, cross that bridge, past Hackney, you're heading to Hoxton and Shoreditch. You take your life in your own hands.
Running home, high knees.
Man.
And then we had our own shit.
Exactly, but it was a beautiful time, and Tottenham still got that community, which I love. But I miss that. I think partly because I'm here in New York. You know, and I'm sure that there's no community where you are.
What you've done, but you know, do you think because I agree with you totally, but do you think that maybe because you're where you romanticize it more than you should?
Yeah, I think that's part of it too.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's an odd one, I must admit, because now, you know, when I first came out here, like, because this is true for a lot of people thought I couldn't go back to the UK, like I was on the run. That's not normal where I am.
Yeah.
Because people come back to Spain from England because they can't go back to the UK, or they're fucked over someone and they're on the run, so they got to lie off X amount of years. I didn't go back because I had no reason to. I would tell people, listen, man, I don't want to live in the sun. It's 3 hours, come visit me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I go back now more on the kind of business runnings. I tell you what, I always, you can't get the home out of you. I come out the airport and it's just, not even time, it's just England. You just get that, wow, yeah, I grew up here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But sometimes I wonder if I'm over romanticizing the ends then. Maybe not actually, because you're reminded, it was kind of a blessed time. You know, it's really funny, right? Because I prepared for this totally different from how I prepared from other interviews. So I wrote down some mad questions. But one of the things that crossed my mind, I'm going to flip it a bit, because you brought this up. Talking about how things have changed. Does it cross your mind the things that have gone, like I wrote down on this list, shubbins.
Like,
that's
what I'm saying. Time, bro. Shubbin. Come on, man. When you think about it, a shubbin. Black people in a fire trap listening to music of a certain tempo. And the thing about, because you're in this place of Shabin, right? You can only listen to certain types of music.
True.
So that's where the rare groove, roots, rockers, reggae, of course.
Yeah, but that's led into the
Where
type of soul. Yeah, you can only play a certain type of soul in that environment.
it's really sway like this.
Yeah, because you're shoulder to shoulder like a tree.
I never realized that, because when I'm younger, Tottenham is my world. When I get a little bit older, I start clubbing, I go to West End and shit. I realize there's a world out there. Tottenham's my world. But now looking back, how unique that is.
That's what I'm saying. Those are the things I romanticize more. I romanticize that, my kids will never know what crabbing is. Like my kids will never know what a shubbins is. They'll never know what a blues dance is because, God. Well, I mean, having said, someone might bring it back. But for now, that's out of here, man.
That's out of here. Someone will bring it back on like a novelty thing. But it's like, it's not, you can bring it back, but you can't bring the times back, right? It's like we as black people, and it's almost like, I can't find it hard to explain. We're the first generation, right? So we took the hits. So what we did, some of us ventured out, like me, you, we had the curious mind and we went out. But there was a safety in our hood, even though our hood was dangerous.
True.
There was a know-how. You were sus. You knew what's going on in your own hood, so you could retreat back to the comfortability of where you come from. And where you come from, they do things like that. You have house parties where they play music of a certain tempo. You can grab a girl and do a slow dance. You got the MC on the mic. They might play a couple of hip hop tunes. They got the kitchen with the drinks. There's a familiarity, but you take it for granted.
That's what I'm saying.
And if you're brave, you may venture into Hackney. If you got the heart, and you're rolling at least 5 deep.
Yeah, at least.
You might venture into Hackney. And if you're like Troy, like Braveheart, you might go South London. But man's gonna be like Braveheart and do the same thing. That's just like it. That's pre-internet, right? So it's almost like I don't know, man. It's like the presence of the land where your parents are from.
Same.
Ghost of it was always with you.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So with your seeds, it's kind of fading away. Like you're still going to instill it in them. It's in their DNA.
Yeah.
But the culture, the cultural norms, and vibrancy, and the way of life, they brought it over to this cold grey land. And on a subconscious level, you have your own reinterpretation of it. It's like, that's just fascinating to me. How if you listen to Rare Groove, it's just like the soul version of almost like Caribbean music. Like the tempo of it and the feeling of it and the subject matter of it. Just like, yo, we listen to soul.
Yeah, like a soul lovers.
This tempo suits us. How kind of jungle it came about? We listen to reggae and we listen to hip hop. And we listen to dance music.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, listen, and I get on my high horse about this kind of stuff, and I travel around. I love Paris. I love other parts of Europe. I love New York too. And no one's fucking with London for creativity.
I know, it's real though, isn't it? You don't want to say it because it sounds arrogant because you're from London, but I think the world kind of knows. There's a melting pot in London that hasn't seemed to have been recreated anywhere else. I don't think it's doable.
It's not doable. There's something about the ear. There's something about the multiculturalism, and to give credit to the English, they have a sophisticated ear where they know what's good and they can tap into it, and we can work together and make something. I was at some rooftop thing in Brooklyn a few months back, right? And I don't know why, meeting somebody or something, and they were listening to like basically the same house music I listened to when I was 18.
Right. And
I got into a conversation with this person. Was like in like their 20s, and I was like, man, this place is cool. I'm like, why you listen to the same music I listened to when I was your age? Don't make sense. It's meant to be a progress. I got my kind of old guy shit. And they were like, yeah, but don't you think like, because you've been around, you're a little bit more sophisticated in terms of music. I said, I understand that. But I said, you have to understand, in London, there's a movement where kids your age are interpreting jazz.
See.
There's a jazz movement. I say London, but the UK, we got these kids, these immigrants from Africans and Somalians and Caribbeans, and they're just doing jazz. To me, that's mind blowing.
Yeah.
They were like, really? And then they were like, do they have an Instagram account? I said,
yes. No, they have saxophones and trumpets. That's what they do with their fingers all day.
yeah, but no one's messing with London, the history of London, and you're a part of that. You know, I know I always have to sneak in the field. Come on, in the history of UK music, you can't bypass basic, and we're gonna put this feature out, and we're gonna have an exhibition. It's just that the child slowed me down a little bit, and there's some property thing going on out here that we're working on, and that should be closing out soon. But 2020, we're making this happen.
Bro, it's so good. You know what, man? At first, you know, I seriously, man, I always appreciate the love and respect, but you know it's mutual. And there's one thing I was going to ask you, man, because it came off, you kind of asked, but I'll ask again anyway, because it might come out differently. It's really interesting to me why you're such a doer. Have you got any reason, has it ever come across to you, you know, why you, more than other people, actually do shit? Because you think about it, the things that you wanted to do in your life, the things that were interesting to you, even though I know you kind of given an example of a couple of bits of serendipity, I still you're gonna get serendipity because you was in the fucking room in the first place.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you have this ability to do shit that other people have been talking about for their whole fucking lives.
Right.
What makes you? Have you got any idea where you think that might come from? Because it might be something you share that will help people.
I don't know. I don't know. I always felt like I get exhilarated by being out of my comfort zone. Like once I get out of my comfort zone, things happen. Right? And leading up to it, it's almost like if I want to do something, I pursue it. Because I know that it's like I don't want to see you get to a point of nirvana, but it's like if like I wanted to make a movie, right? Like once again, you learn stuff from children, like always working on the craft, like that tummy time thing. I've got to work, right?
You was doing the tummy time.
Yeah, it's like I know it's gonna be all right.
See.
And just through trying and error, it's gonna be a grind. It's gonna be hard work, but you have to put in the hard work to make it worth it. So, for instance, once I have the idea of doing something, I envision myself doing it, but I know there's going to be a time period. There's going to be a struggle, but I can see the destination. I can see the end. I can see where I want to be. You know what I mean? And also another thing I do, I talk it into existence. I talk myself into position where I have to do it. Right? So for instance, like now, like me and my wife are working on having a jazz festival in Japan, right? In Kyoto, because my wife's from Kyoto, right? And we've reached out to the mayor, got the mayor's blessing, right?
That's the shit I'm talking about.
Because it relates, because I'm in it now. The other thing, like the record label, I'm kind of did, and I'm up and running with it.
Yeah. And
the film, I did. I'm working on making another film. That's a whole other thing. But with this festival, it's the same mindset. Like we reached out to the mayor, we got the mayor's blessing. Now I'm gonna do it. I don't have no idea how to set up a festival, but I just think in terms of the logic of it. All right, now I have to come up with a map of how the festival's gonna be set up, a list of DJs that I want to like play there, because it's gonna be a DJ centric like festival, but based around jazz. And then I have to hire an event coordinator or somebody that can coordinate it. It's step by step. And I know there's going to be a frustration. There's going to be funding issues. I don't really know how to go about getting sponsors and shit. But at the end of the day, this festival's going to happen because I really want to do it. And I picture myself there. I picture myself at the festival and seeing the DJs playing and my daughter being there and just handshaking with the sponsors and shit and watching the stage get like erected. I picture it and I talk about it, and eventually it's going to happen. Where some people, I don't want to say fail because it sounds presumptuous, but where some people don't make it to that end, they're not ready for the struggle.
Right, I hear
I'm
that.
ready for the struggle. Right? It's like you like for you eventually, like to me, you're the ultimate. Like you eventually. You got a record deal or whatever, and I know we got record labels and stuff. That's like a whole other podcast, and we can talk about that. But before that, and I know it's a struggle at the label, but you went through the struggle. But you imagine where you want it to be. How am I going to do this? I'm going to press the records. How does that work? I go see this person. I get the labels put on. Now I've got to distribute it. Now I've got to do shows. I'm going to get my mans on. It's just, you go through the struggle to get to where you want to be.
Word.
And the reason, and to answer your question, is just, I talk about it and I envision it, which is, that's the easy part. But the talking about it and envisioning it is something that anybody can do. But the people who really do it and make it are those who understand it's going to be hard, it's going to be frustrating, it's going to be work. And once you can get through that, because the thing is, when you're doing all of that, you're gaining the knowledge. It's like you're downloading information.
For real.
Right?
For real.
Downloading information. It's like there's this artist that we wanted to reissue the person's music. Don't want to name the artist. But he was locked into a contract. This was a bullshit contract. And he was like, I want to work with you, but I'm locked in this bullshit deal. And he goes, do you mind if I send you the paperwork? And I was like, I'm not a lawyer, but yeah, you can send me the paperwork and stuff like that. Yeah. So he sent me the paperwork. And I never realized, through working with my wife, and she had a publishing deal, and getting the rights to music for like my film, when I went through the contract, I understood, I could pinpoint what his situation was and how he could get out of it. And he eventually got out of it. And we worked that kind of a handshake deal. But the point is, just going through the struggle, because my wife and a publishing deal, that was a whole other thing. We had to get out of that deal, and it was a whole other thing. You really know the music business.
Yeah.
I was downloading information.
See.
Which never had. So when I went through the contract, I said, listen, you can get out of this through this, like clause 5, A, B, you get your lawyer to focus on that, you can get out of this deal. But he's just going to be aggressive. Because you're working with a mom and pop label, and they're going to get scared if you get a big bad lawyer, a big stick. But this is the clause you need to focus, send that to your lawyer. And he did it, and he got out of the deal. And that's, once you go for the, people are intimidated by the struggle and the work, but the struggle and the work sharpens you.
Well, you know what's funny, my brother? Sorry, man. What you just said there is super deep, believe me, in so many levels. But I'll jump on this point because this is why I always love the name C Life for you, man. Because I know that there's a funny kind of association with hustlers, and some people associate it as something good, and some people associate it as something, how can I say, less than a genius entrepreneur, right? When I use the word hustler, normally I'm talking about a genius entrepreneur. And I've always seen you as the best hustler I've ever known. No, for real, bro. If you look now, listen. If you look at the things that we've talked about, what we've done today, that's why I'm asking about being a doer, because loads of people say they want to do shit. Do you know what I mean? I mean, for example, man, I'm just keep it going. It's easier. So when you said to me that line that you'd never been in a film set, but you've organized all these people to make a film. I thought to myself, and I'm just talking real, yeah. You know, I'm trying no platitudes, not bullshit. I thought to myself, well, I've been on a motherfucking film set. I said I was gonna make a film.
I'd never done
But just want to say that is a fucking skill. It's a kernel of genius. That is a difference. And I'm putting myself down because I think, you know, I've done a little bit, and I've done all right. But when you said that line, I'm just actually ringing a bell like, yeah, that's the difference. There's less than that for a lot of people who have been there, got all the connections, and it's laid up for them. And they're doing shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then you're drawing all this shit together because you have this kind of genius entrepreneurial flair to say, fuck it, I want to get it done. And the vision stuff is huge because, you know, most of the time, like, you know, I don't really do, you know, this podcast is kind of the majority of my creativity. Yeah. Now, I don't do anything in the creative space, so most of the time I'm working with business people. So I'm listening to a business podcast last night, the guy's saying the exact same thing. You know, vision, they've got the vision. This particular guy, I can't remember his name now, Lloyd's, they're property guys. I did this myself, actually, it's kind of funny. I moved the vision board to vision video. I don't know if a few people have done that. So he was saying, yeah, I know that everyone says have a vision board, but boards are static and we're in the video generation. Yeah, so I've got a video of all the things I want to achieve. Mm. And then he said, I've even moved that another level now where I've done a video of myself talking back to myself, like, you know, we've got to get this shit done. I don't know what mood you're in today, but just brush that fucking dirt off your shoulder. We've got shit to do. And he's pushing the vision on that level, talking to himself every morning. Like, I don't know, yesterday, I don't know what mood you're in, but I don't really fucking care. You know, the vision is blah, 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 blah. Let's get going.
Yeah.
So you've got vision and talking stuff into existence.
Yeah.
That's another stage. That's a TED talk.
Yeah.
You should be giving talking that shit.
That's the thing. I'm always I like to challenge myself, and it's also very humbling because I'm always there's always something that I'm doing, but I'm a novice and an amateur at. Like this festival thing, I'm a novice and an amateur at. I need a mentor. I look for mentors too. I need a mentor. I need somebody to show me how this thing works, how to reach out to sponsors, how to coordinate this, how to get it. And plus, it's in another country too. So I'm always in amateur novice mode. But I've been in that zone. That's how I was with film, and I learned how to make film. That's how I was with setting up a label, and I learned how to make a label. So those can kind of run, not on their own, but I've got it's almost like I've downloaded the software for that. Mm-hmm. Now I'm trying to download festival software, and I'm bumbling about like Winnie the Pooh and asking silly questions because I just don't know. And I'm just always in that zone. And because I want to learn, that's what kind of pushes me forward.
Yeah.
I want to learn. I want to do a festival. I just want to do it. Like, why can't I do it? If someone else do it, why can't I do it?
This is something that we share. That you know, the way you talk about back in the day, that was always the motivator. I had a conversation just the other day. I said, you know, most of the time I look at any person on this planet and go, if we got roughly the same mental faculties and all you know, our legs and arms are working, then unless you got like a natural genius, like let's say you're Usain Bolt, and you natural genius for running, I'm expecting to be able to do what you could do within, let's say, 20% of a 20% margin, and that's it. I don't give a fuck who you are. I'm expecting that. Why can't I do what you're doing? And I really get that.
I've got to duck out in a minute because I've got to see this guy about this venue, right? But I just want to say, and I've said it before, but I want to say it in recording. Flex, you already know.
I know you're gonna embarrass me, right?
Nah, bro. I'm telling you, this is a fact, bro. This isn't even like this is fact. We come talk. We already know we've got a history, bro. One of the key moments in my life for all that I'm doing now is Mans from Tottenham had a record label. President, I've got a record label in the internet era. This is back in the 80s, bruv. And we're not going to go into all of that. But I'm saying you're a key component in why I'm doing what, because you're going to see it to believe it. And I saw you, man, at my age, for my background pressure record and throwing parties? Come on, man. Come on, man. Before I even, that's the genesis, bro. I'm telling you. Done telling you, man.
Yeah, facts, my bro.
Done telling you, man. I get emotional about that stuff, but that's a fact, bro. So for man like me to be friends now and have this podcast, blessing, bro.
Right.
Blessing, bro.
You know, that's when you know it is blessed, for real.
Yeah. And we need to do it again because I had fun.
Yeah, I'm glad, man. You know what, brother? You don't know. I wasn't nervous, but you know when you want to give something its due respect. So I'm coming back on this plane last night, right? I've written 50 questions. That's none.
First class, get my back rub.
No, I was in Ryan.
I said, don't get it messed up. Right there, EasyJet, I'm on that. Heavy.
But now I wrote down 50 questions because I didn't want, and I don't know why, because I know that like the time we ain't talked for years and picked up the phone, I was on the phone for 2 hours, I'm like, do you know what I mean? But I just wanted to put my effort in to make sure that this was done justice. So you still got like 48 questions for the next time, bro.
Yeah. Is this audio or is this going to be the video too?
Well, you know what's interesting? We can do the video like this, right? I wasn't prepared for a video, as you can see, but it's kind of, I don't care. But it's funny, all the podcasts have been going at audio, but I was talking to Mikey about it, and he was saying, really and truly, got to start putting the video ones out because people relate to that. It blows my mind because I only listen to podcasts because they're the one thing I can do that I don't have to engage visually with. But with your backdrop, my brother,
come on,
I have to go. Because you got the DIT
800-pound gorilla. When you got two handsome men like us, can't be hiding with no audio, bro. It would be the world would be like, what's going on?
And the good thing is, well, we didn't fluff nothing. So I mean, because I don't really edit these things. These just boom goes out because it's really the MANSDEM talking. I really wanted to do this like.
I didn't realize it was a freestyle type thing. It was like a freestyle, we're just talking and stuff, but it worked out great because MANSDEM is butchering in it. So.
I had no worry about it. I just put the effort in because I didn't want to be lazy, but I just like, me and you talk, man, and you dropping nuggets, man, golden nuggets, man. I know you have to go, so I'm not going to hold you because
yeah.
Go when we do it again.
Go and we'll do it again, and that's it. Anytime, Flex, man. You're my OG. You know what I mean? Right. You're a mentor. You're a lot, and you're a pioneer. So you know what I mean. I'm doing things, but I've never been a trailblazer. You're a trailblazer. So I'm just following in man's footsteps, bro. But I know that you're a humble man still. So
I've been on a film set, and I've been in like 2 or 3.
When I do something that is trailblazing, then I can look you in the eye. Until then, give thanks to the Most High. Flex. Now we need to figure out how can we switch this off. Oh, okay. I pressed this red button.
Nah, seriously, my brother. One love, man. It's so appreciated. Seriously. And we'll do it again. But this has been just exactly what I wanted. And you know we're going to talk for another 4 hours, so we just put the next 2 hours on another one.
Yes, sir.
Again, you know what I mean?
Big up, Flex.
I do appreciate you, my brother. Heartbeat props, you know. Don't like to get mushy. I love to tell people I love them because one day I'm going to be fucking dead. And I don't want to die and people have any kind of confusion about it. Love you, my brother. Serious.
Yeah, I love you, brother. Big time. Beaconsfield Road, back in the day, listening to Cuban Links. Yo, I've got to shout it out. Yo, Good Find Records. We out here. You know what I mean? You can find us at goodfindrecords.com. We've got a bunch of good music on there. And more music to come. So
hit me up with all the links for the show notes. Facebook, so it'll be on the podcast and show notes anyway. And shout out the film again as well. Mr.
Obscure is on Vimeo. Just go to Mr. Obscure on Vimeo, and you won't be disappointed. Classic indie movie. We did the New York festivals and stuff. If anything, just check out the trailer and see how you feel about it. And once you see the trailer, you're gonna be like, yo, let me throw that. I think it's $3 or $4 or something. You throw that down. And you're going to be entertained for 90 minutes. And the score and the soundtrack is bananas.
The movie is off the chain all day long.
Right. Big up, bro. Yeah, I've got a jet flex.
One love, my brother. One love. We'll do this again. Don't watch that.
Respect.
Yes, my brother.
Ain't up.